Well, our first guest is joining us on the phone from Long Island, New York. Jeannie O'Malley is the CEO of Drug Free Solution Incorporated. DSOL is their stock symbol. Jeannie, always good to talk to you.
Hi, Don.
Hi. Now, the reason I wanted to start this week's show off with you, there's quite a bit going on just south of you in Philadelphia with respect to something like 28 or 30 people have died from heroin laced with something called fentanyl. What can you tell us about that?
Well, that is the tragedy of using a street drug, is that, heroin has been laced with many things for many years. And so that is the Russian roulette of being a heroin user, is that you could get a dose that has been cut with something that, will create, obviously, this terrible overdose situation. And, it has been very bad in other states. Minnesota went through a really bad phase, I think, between 5 and 9 months ago. And so that is the tragedy of this, is that these people are being pushed onto the street and they are acquiring these drugs that are laced, and the end result will be death. I think it's just devastating. I think the whole conversation right now around this whole epidemic is getting very fascinating, because you've got this really strong voice. If we look at the belief structure of this epidemic and what the voice is saying to a heroin addict, what is being said to them is that they're never going to be able to get off the drug, that they're never going to lead a normal and successful life, and that they either have to choose a path to be medicated for the rest of their life or stay on the drug and risk an overdose or death due to long-term use. So that immediately removes their personal will or any kind of hope or potential of changing their situation. And then on the other hand, we're saying you need to get off it because you could die.
Well, you're absolutely right.
It's a bizarre situation.
You're absolutely right. And of course, so many heroin addicts actually started with prescription medications. Now, your company has a program that helps people kick the heroin addiction with no drugs involved. Can you give us a brief overview?
Yes, we have a program that takes an individual around 9 months to finish. They start the program with a 3-day detox from the heroin or opiates. We've documented through that 3-day detox that people experienced majorly reduced withdrawals, almost to the point of not having any withdrawal at all during that 3-day period. Then the person goes on a journey over the next 6 to 9 months, depending on how many times a day they do it, to cleanse the emotional brain and the inner conversations and inner dialogues that they are experiencing within themselves that creates them to need to use the heroin. And so, of course, when you heal through that type of process, it affects your entire life. It affects your relationship with other people. It affects the relationship you have to yourself. You're not changing your life because you're being told, you have to change your life. You're actually experiencing an inner shift that doesn't allow you to even want to go out and use. And so the people we help become dramatically different people. They become dramatically well people emotionally within society. And I think that's where this conversation needs to go to. What was fascinating for me when we went to California and did that incubator is that it wasn't just the addict and the powerlessness of being in the addiction. It was the powerlessness of the people that surrounded them and what was being said to them to contain them in the addiction. And these are the things we have to break down so these people can get well. It's not about providing services. It's about allowing the opportunity for them to heal. I mean, that's what we have to start to address. And we can see in mainstream media and from the government down, people are saying, we can't do it, we can't change it. That's it. These people are done. And that is so untrue. It is not even close to the truth. And that's why we have to start opening doors to alternative approaches and really starting to get it to shut down. Because we're giving addicts the actual permission to use. We're people that are using this drug, it's a very seductive drug, and it lets you escape all reality. And we're saying to these people, on one hand, get well, and on the other hand, you're never going to get well. So they'll say, well, maybe I'll get well, or maybe why do I need to get well?
Well, it's an amazing program that you have, Jeannie. Again, Drug Free Solution Incorporated, DSOL. Congratulations on all the fine work you're doing, and thanks so much for joining us once again.
Thanks so much, Don.
Take care.